Hey guys, just a quick update here on my high hands versus low hands research. Almost done. Still got some stuff I want to tinker with, but what this really is all about is how to get you hitting the ball well enough to shoot in the 70s as fast as humanly possible. And so I've had the chance to look at things from a very different perspective, both from an injury prevention perspective for longevity, because obviously there's no point in hitting it great if you can't do it forever. And so looking at it from that perspective, using the force plates, and also looking at the tendencies that nearly every golfer has. The golfers who really struggle the most tend to kind of all do the same things, right? You swing over the top, you rotate your shoulders, you're really dependent on timing and rhythm and tempo, and you struggle with, the right side of the body really taking over. It's not that the right side doesn't do things, obviously, they both have to work, but what I wanted to do with this high hands and low hands research stuff was really start to see how I could expedite the learning process for you. So how can I get you there faster by making things easier to learn and even simpler than the dead drill. But the dead drill really focuses on the core and the hips, but the arms obviously have a lot to do in the golf swing, right? They do something, they're holding onto the club, they're providing speed, they're also being moved by the body. But at the end of the day, I've always left this variable up to you is, do you want your hands really high like Jack Nicklaus or Davis Love, or there's lots of different players, or do you want lower hands? That's always been a variable in the swing. And what I'm trying to do with this is find the safest, fastest learning pathway to get you to being able to hit the ball well enough to shoot in the 70s. So if you like the look of this, I already posted some high hand stuff, some driver videos and things, but this is a quick look, and I'll let this play through at a slow pace. So you guys are asking for some slow-mo video. So this is obviously a low hands. It's not as low as it could be, but that's about where I've kind of settled in at the moment for the testing purposes to see what the force plates are telling me in terms of double spikes and where the loads on the spine are at various times in the swing when the spine is in a vulnerable position, and also wanting to see how much influence you can put in using the right arm to make it easier and faster to learn for golfers who really struggle with getting the body to shallow out and the club to shallow out from a high hands position using the left hand. So, and obviously rotation and lateral move and so on. So that's what the lower hands approach allows me to use a bit more right than what you could do with the left hand stuff. Because obviously if your hands are really high and then you drive really hard from the right, you're just ripping it right over the top. So with the shallower hands, it makes it easier. As you can see, the club shallows out really, really easily from this perspective, or from down the line view. And with those shallower hands at the beginning, obviously I have a little bit steeper spine angle than, steeper shoulders than you would necessarily with a higher hands position. But you can see the club shallows out really, really well and really effortlessly and really easy. So this may be the path for those of you who obviously you saw in the Facebook group. If you haven't checked that out, I'll put the link down in the description. But a lot of people really prefer high hands. There's some really passionate beliefs about one versus the other. But the cool thing is, they obviously you can win major championships with both. But my concern is not about you winning a major championship. My concern is, how do I get you hitting the ball consistently well enough to shoot in the 70s, far enough to play golf from the back tees, and being able to do it for a lifetime? Because if you're getting injured, it doesn't work, right? So you can see there's obviously now my hips aren't working as well as they normally would here because I'm really having to think about getting my arms low. It's not natural for me to get my arms this low. My hands really want to be high because I'm a speed junkie. I like producing a lot of power, and it's easier to produce a little bit more speed with higher hands, but it's not necessarily that I'm limited in as much speed. I can still produce a lot of speed with the lower hands, and my driver speed I posted with the higher hands, like average was like 121, 123, something like that. And then with the low hands, it's a little bit lower than that, but I can still swing 120, which is more than fast enough. So that's really not a big concern unless you're going to be a long drive guy. Obviously, you're going to want higher hands. But if you're like me and just wanting to be able to consistently play your best golf every single day on any golf course, then this may be the path that you're wanting to go. I'm going to be publishing more of the research on the site soon as I wrap things up. I just wanted to give you guys a quick little tidbit and some slow-mo video for those of you guys that were asking. We'll talk soon.